So log into your MailChimp account and click the Campaigns tab in the top nav bar. Once on this page, click the Create Campaign button. On this next page, select the A/B testing campaign option. Then choose an email list that you want to send to. For this example, I'll click Team that has 24 recipients. I don't want to send to just a segment of this list, so I'll click Send to Entire List. So with A/B split testing, you can test 4 different variables in your email campaign. The first option is subject line. This is really the most important part of the email, as a bad subject line may equal customers not opening the email at all. So I will split test with this variable in place to see what wording for the subject gets the best open rates. Next is the from name. The from name can influence open rates as well. Sometimes using my name, my personal name, gets a better open rate than my brand name or company website name. People like a personal email coming from a specific name. They feel more special. Third is content. You can test your content if you want to know which buttons, text, or varying images are working better or getting you better clicks. So split testing content really means you build 2 varying email content bodies. Finally is send time. I love testing send times, as you can drastically change your open rates depending on the time and day you send your emails. From my experience, the best days and times to send emails are Wednesdays and Thursdays between 10 a.m. and noon. People are usually on the downward side of the work week, and between 10 a.m. and noon, they're usually on their first break or at lunch at work. So these are times they're more likely to check their personal email. So for example, say you want to test 2 subject lines. The maximum you can test with a free account is 3 combinations. Using a MailChimp paid account, you can test up to 8 combinations. So first I select 2 subject lines. Next, I need to choose a percentage for the test segment group, which will receive my test combination. I always choose 50-50, so half will get the original email, and the other half will get my test combination email. So I'll break down the math. For this example, I have 24 subscribers in the list. I'm testing 2 subject lines, so that means the first subject line will be sent to 6 users. The second will be sent to the next 6 users. Then MailChimp will determine which subject line performed better, so basically which subject line email had a better open rate. Then the winning subject line will be sent to the last 12 users. As you can see for this example, I chose to determine the winning combination via the email open rate after 4 hours. This is my favorite setting for determining the winning combo. Open rate and after 4 hours. So I give my initial 12 people 4 hours to open it and determine which subject line had a better open rate. Then the remaining 50%, or remaining 12 people on the email list, get the winning subject line. So I mentioned I use open rate for my determination, but you can choose one of the 4 variants for determining your winning combo. First is click rate, second is open rate, third is by total revenue. If you choose this variant, you have to be connected to eCommerce 360 in your MailChimp account. And finally is by manual selection. So after you pick one of these, you also have to pick how much time you want MailChimp to wait to determine the winning subject line. Like I said, I stick with the default 4 hours. That's plenty of time for someone to either A, like the email subject, or B, not like it and not have opened it. So after you select your variables and click Next, it's on this setup page is where you'll determine your 2 combinations. So decide on your 2 email subjects for testing. Then fill out the campaign just like you do any other email campaign. The only thing different is the second field for your second variable, email subject 2. If you select the from name variable, again, it will appear on the setup page under the section from email address and from name. Like I mentioned, try one variation from your brand name and brand email, then the other variation from your personal name and personal direct email for that business. So info@CourseEnvy.com from CourseEnvy. The next one should be my personal name at CourseEnvy, and then the from name is my personal name. If you select the third variable of testing content, it's going to be on this content tab that you'll see the two split test combos. So you build a complete email, design it, template, and all for the first one, and then you'll be redirected back to build your second content to test. So build those two separate emails, and then click through next to confirm and send your email. Then finally is the send time option. Again, on the setup page, it's going to be under the send time section. You'll choose the two dates and times to send this campaign. These times will be split 50-50. At the first time, your campaign will be emailed to 50% of your email list. Then at the second time, it will be emailed to the rest of your email list. So since the content, the from name, the subject's all the same, you can really determine with this analytics what is a better day and what is a better time to send future emails. So from my past experience, the priority of variables are as follows. Number one, content. That's my favorite thing to split test because I can really determine what design, what images, what buttons get a better click-through rate. Next is sending time. I like to do these tests right away so I can determine when my audience is most active, what day of the week and what time. Then I really don't have to test it in the future. I can, but once you lock up a really good time, you can send all your emails on that day and time. Third is subject line, and then finally from name. So from my experience with various clients, like I mentioned, content is the most important thing you can test. Because think of it, it really affects your email strategy. Think of the varying things you can test in the content section. There's so many things. In one email, you can just share an informational blog post, but in the other, you can test selling items. What I love to do is in one content section, I use 3 product images that are on sale, each with a special promo code. Then in the second test email content area, I use 3 other product images and then a new unique promo code. So by doing this, I test what products are getting more clicks and which promo codes are getting more sales. Next, for sending time, like I mentioned earlier, Wednesdays and Thursdays between 10 a.m. and noon is great for my clients. But remember, test your clients. Maybe Sunday evening will be your best open rate time. When you first start a MailChimp, you should test every day and every time combination possible to identify when your subscriber, your demographic, has the best open rate. Then you can use that time in the future again and again. Number 3 is this subject line. Subject line is the most simple variable to test. I like to include this test on almost every email because MailChimp split tests the subject line, then delivers the winning subject from the first half to the second half of my email list. So therefore, it's overall increasing my open rates going forward. But like I said, the least effective for me is the from name split test. From name is a very simple test, but in reality, it doesn't matter what the from name is. If people love your emails from your brand, they're going to open them. So at the end of the day, it still comes down to high quality content that people love. Create content that users will want to open every time. So now I want to tell you about some stats from some of my past A/B split testing campaigns. For this specific one, I did a content split test, and in the pre-header or in the preview text you see before you even open your email, I put these 2 sentences. One, I inserted the user's name, 15% discounts for XYZ products. In the second content area, I inserted the merge tag for that user's first name, and then I followed it by, we have an exclusive offer for you, and included a link. So as you can see, when I was specific about a discount, I got a 32% open rate and a click-through rate of 6. When my pre-header sentence was intrigue, my open rate was 36% with a click-through rate of 9%. So I increased by 4 and I increased by 3%. Maybe 15% isn't enough for that user. But in the second one, we have an exclusive offer for you. There's intrigue with that. I want to click that link. So sometimes intrigue about special offers will increase your click-through rate. Don't give them all the detail in your email. Get them to come to your website to continue reading, to get the deal, to see the discount, and so on. In this next example, for this A/B split test campaign, the stats show that addressing your subscribers by their first name in the first line of your email will not only increase open rates, but also increase your click-through rates. So this is a conditional merge tag. So write this down to use in your own content. So as you can see in this blue coding, if fname, so if the person has a first name in my email database, MailChimp will place it, then put hi, title first name, comma. If they don't have a first name in my database, it'll just say hello, comma. So again, when I did a split test in my content, the first sentence was spend your vacation in Turkey. That got an open rate of 33% with a click-through of 10%. When I opened with their actual name via that merge tag fname, spend your vacation in Turkey, the open rate went up nearly 5% and the click-through rate went up 9%. That personal touch people like. So make sure to write down this domain to look at all the merge tags that you can use in your email campaign. I personally always try to use my subscribers' fname or first name merge tag in the content section or in the email subject line of every email campaign I use. It really adds that personal touch. Here's a split test of subject lines with simple call to actions. So this was for an accountant during tax season. The first one I used was don't be afraid of taxes. Check out these tax deduction ideas. Got a 45.3% open rate with a click-through rate of 13.8. While the simple one, 2 minutes could save you thousands in taxes. Look at that. My open rate increased to almost 14%, and my click-through rate within that email increased 6%. Simple, short, call to action subject lines. Next, within my content, reduce content blocks to increase your click-through rate. People don't have much time to read email, so remember, less is more. And again, use intrigue. Don't put your whole blog post in your email. Put the first sentence, maybe the first paragraph, and then a read more hyperlink to your website so they can continue reading, and therefore increase your click-through rate within your emails. Here's an A/B split test I did for content with a hard sell versus soft sell in a promotional email. So in the first email, it was a promotional email with a link directly to my sales funnel landing page. In my second email, it was a soft sell that just included valuable content. So again, I'm giving away free valuable content that also included a link to the sales funnel landing page, but it wasn't so direct. In the first one, I told them, go here for X product. In the second one, I gave them some free knowledge and then said, check this out if you want more info. Soft sell, increase my click-through rate by 5%. So take action. Schedule your first A/B split testing campaign with a 2 combination subject line test right now in MailChimp.